All right, hey team, welcome to our Thursday night call. I'm so excited to see so many faces. Like I said, we're going to do the call a little bit different tonight. We'll do recognition at the end after Katie does all her stuff and answers a couple of our questions, and then we'll open up like we usually do at the end of our calls. I am super excited for our guest speaker tonight. You guys have been hearing me talk about this for the last week. And if you don't know, so I met Katie literally this time last year, tomorrow. I listened to her speak at a Shine event, which Lindsay Matway, the Bombshell Dynasty, put on. And I don't know. I don't even remember, but I know it was life changing. I remember just going up to Katie at the end and I was like, you're me. Like, your story is my story. And she was just so sweet and so kind. And she even chatted with me at the end. And I will honestly say she is pretty much what pushed me to finally just say, I'm in. I'm going to do this. So it's kind of like a total 360 moment because it's literally like a year since we met. So it's super exciting. Katie is a 16-star combined coach. She is a 3-time elite coach as well. So she knows what she's doing, which is super exciting. So Katie, I am going to go ahead and hand it over to you.
Thank you. Yes, crazy. That was 1 year ago. Can everybody mute themselves?
Yeah.
Just so I don't hear myself twice. And then also, this is a random request, but on the top right-hand side of the screen, there's speaker view and there's gallery view. I prefer to be on gallery view, so I'm not huge on your screen. And then, that way you can see everybody. So just a quick little thing for you guys. So my pre-Beachbody life, I used to be a retail manager, and I was working a lot of hours for not a lot of money and not a lot of appreciation, and also being overweight and just stressed out all the time because of work. And I kind of fell into Beachbody through P90X, and it's kind of been a roller coaster from there. And as much as I love Beachbody, I preach about Beachbody every single day of my life. I am so grateful and so blessed to have this opportunity in my life and to be able to share it and pass on the gift to other people. It's not all sunshine and roses. And I think, with you guys being a newer team, you guys are in that really tough growth stage right now where you're having to prove yourself, you're having to push through anyway, despite the fact that maybe some of the people in your life think this is a scam, or they think it's just hocus pocus, or they think, gosh, why is my wife's face always in her phone and she's not engaged with, our team and the way that things, or our family and the way that things used to be. So I thought I could impart some wisdom on you guys and impart some experience, and hopefully that'll help you through this growth stage and then to pass on information to your new coaches. So I love slides. I'm a very visual person, so I'm going to share some slides with you guys, and hopefully, can you guys see this? Okay, I just need to figure out where the play button is on this. I have no idea. I just did this the other day. Okay, well.
I think right up on the right-hand side, it says slideshow and it says play, like a little green arrow on it. Underneath your tabs. Keep going down. And then go.
Oh, there we go. This is so nerdy. I was just on my other computer, so this computer is different. So, okay, we made it. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about the emotional roller coaster of coaching, what they don't tell you when you sign up. And I always like to preface this by saying your coach or your sponsor or your team did not withhold information from you with malicious intent. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things that we go through that they might not have experienced yet or articulated yet or didn't think other people go through this. So I'm going to prepare you for some of the emotional turbulence that you will inevitably face as a coach. So a roller coaster is defined as a thing that contains or goes through wild and unpredictable changes. And to me, that is coaching to a T. There are going to be things that you never thought possible. For example, I had a diamond coach, a personally sponsored diamond coach, quit, send in her cancellation. And I'm at a different mental place than her, different goals than her. So that to me was mind-blowing and devastating in different ways. So you're going to have these unpredictable curveballs thrown at you, and I'm going to help you navigate some of that and help you build up a success team so that you can effectively get through them without losing your mind. So for the agenda tonight, I'm going to go a little bit quickly because I want to respect everyone's time and keep it about 30 minutes. So thank goodness this is recorded, so if you want to go back and refer to your notes. But I'm going to talk about how to get the most out of this call, how we all have entrepreneur DNA inside of us, and we just have to unlock it, why most small businesses unfortunately fail, what to expect, how people are crabby, looking at things from their perspective. We might not do the lone nut because that's actually a video, but then I'm going to teach you how to build your buckets, how to fill your buckets that build confidence, creating a support team, and why the whole crazy ride is worth it. So if you guys can see the bottom of the slide, I was thinking back to when I was a newer coach, and I literally built this business on a $400 laptop that I unfortunately overdrew my account buying. And I was so excited and so determined, but then I had things happen like people telling me it was a scam, or people telling me, I can't believe that you signed up for that stupid thing, or people returning when they were so excited. All these things happening where I felt like every day was up and down. I didn't know what to expect. One day I would have someone tell me that I was inspiring to them, and then the next day I would have someone tell me how Shakeology was the stupidest thing they ever heard of and making fun of me about it. So you're going to have a lot of ups and downs and loop-de-loops that you're going to face. So to get the most out of this call and to take the most away, to walk away with the best experience of this, I want you guys to consume what I'm telling you. So think about how it applies to you and your life and your team and your business. Take notes. I'm huge on taking notes when you first hear it, so when you write things down, you actually absorb it a little bit better. And then when you go back to listen to the call again or look at your notes, you can reflect on them and highlight and circle things that you took away from it and things that were light bulb moments to you. Also, becoming a master of your own education. So you are the CEO of your business, and I feel like sometimes we say that and it just kind of loses its meaning. So just like your coach can't do your workouts for you, I can't do the workouts for you, I also can't open your head and do a brain dump of everything that I know. So it's up to you to look at where your obstacles are and to create a personal development plan around that to get stronger in those areas and to become a master of learning things that you aren't mastering yet. So if it's time management, that you're looking at time management books, if it's becoming a leader, that you're looking at leadership books, but really just to take ownership of your own education. Number 2, to actually implement what you learned or what you took away. So knowledge without action is useless. I can tell you everything that I know, and if you don't do anything with it, it's not going to mean anything. So action is the most important thing, even if you're not doing it perfectly. If you're moving forward, you're moving forward. And the third thing is to share. So don't be selfish. Don't keep things to yourself. Pass knowledge onto your team. Pass things on to other people. And I always encourage, sharing information freely. It doesn't matter if it's your team or a different team. You're out there putting things out there, and as long as you're sharing and inspiring and encouraging others, all of that's going to come back to you tenfold. Okay, so here's a really interesting statistic that really made me sad, to be honest with you. 66% of small businesses fail. And when I think about this, I think about how we all have entrepreneur DNA. So if you think back to caveman days, we had to do everything ourselves. We had to provide our own shelter. We had to go hunt our own food. We had to make our own clothes. I'm pretty sure they wore some type of garment. So they had to do that all themselves. When it came time when they learned how to plant crops, they had to plant their own crops and reap what they sowed. So they were entrepreneurs to the truest sense of the word. And then, the Industrial Revolution came along, and society as we know it today is you go to school, you get good grades, you become a laborer in a job, you work a job, and it's time in equals money out. And we've gotten away from the entrepreneur concept. So it saddens me when I see this statistic, 66% of small businesses fail, because I'm looking at that okay, we're all entrepreneurs. It's just a matter of unlocking that part of ourselves that rises to the occasion, that demands more of ourselves. And this statistic, it's commonly thought that businesses fail because maybe they didn't have credit, they didn't have capital, they didn't have the right management, they didn't have the right location, the competition was too stiff. All of these excuses, come up of why these businesses fail. And the sad reality is the factors for failure had nothing to do with outside factors. It had everything to do with internal factors. The emotional roller coaster was the greatest factor in why most of these owners quit or gave up or failed. And that could be doubt, that could be fear, that could be them just getting so emotionally drained from the experience that they just threw their hands up in the air and gave up. There are so many businesses, when you look at the success stories, and I wish that I could remember statistics, but like Walt Disney got turned down by I feel like it was over 100 banks for a loan for Disney World. You hear these statistics where people went against the odds and they succeeded by leaps and bounds, and it was sheer consistency. And consistency takes a certain level of mental willpower to get there and to stick things out even when they're rough. So while this statistic, I don't know why I can't say that tonight, is scary, the reality is that it doesn't have to be that way. So we know what the issue is, so now we can work on changing it. And the cool thing about being a Beachbody coach is it's almost as if you're a franchise owner, like plug and play, literally for the cost of $39.95 or a challenge pack, you are a business owner now. Beachbody takes care of advertising, they take care of shipping, they take care of customer service returns. All we have to worry about is branding ourselves, leading by example, and becoming those strong business owners with the right mentality. So I absolutely love Beachbody for those reasons. Now, the cool thing is we live in such a unique time. So, going back to the caveman days, they didn't have the technology to do nearly what we could do today or even 50 years ago. Today, if you have a Wi-Fi connection, a desire to work, and an idea or a passion about something, you can build a business. That is mind-blowing. Literally, you don't even have to have a computer. You can go work at the library. So if you have Wi-Fi or the gumption to go talk to people or the gumption to go build those relationships, you can literally build your empire. So to me, we live in the absolute greatest time in the entire history of the human race. And I want you to imagine, going back to the roller coaster example, that you're standing at the ticket booth. Now, you as a Beachbody coach have already bought a ticket for this ride. You've already said, I want to seize this opportunity. I don't want to keep doing the same thing and keep getting the same results. I want to live to my greatest potential. I want to go for something greater in my life. I want to take things to the next level or accomplish things that I wasn't able to accomplish in my old way of life or my old career. But it's a matter of getting on the ride. So you might have a ticket, but you might not be committed to this yet. Like Ashley was saying, how she went all in after that experience. It's a decision. You don't just fall into it and fall to success. Being a coach is so much more involved than that. And you're going to have to make the decision every single day when you wake up that, yes, I'm going to live to my greatest potential. I have this little quote on my desk that says, if I was the best Beachbody coach that ever lived, how would I act today? And that's how I try to model my behavior. So it is a decision whether you just signed up yesterday or whether you're a 15-star diamond coach. You have to make the decision today to show up and to be the best that you can. Now, if you have the ticket, but you're still floundering or maybe you feel like you don't know what's going on, I want you to really think about the factors that are holding you back. Are they factors like the people in your life, your friends, your family, your coworkers, maybe saying that this is stupid or they don't believe in it or they're giving you grief? Or is it maybe voices in your head where you hear doubt or insecurities or limiting beliefs creep in and you start to question the things that you're doing? Instead of focusing on all of those negative things, the things that aren't propelling you forward, the things that are holding you back, I want you to reframe your challenges and know that everything we're given a reason, for a reason to make us stronger. If you can figure out how to overcome something yourself, that's going to help you enable your team, your coaches, your future coaches, your challengers, the people in your life to become better because you've already figured it out. So instead of thinking of those things as obstacles, I want you to think of them as learning experiences, as growth opportunities. And the cool thing is, I feel like here we are, it's a Thursday night at 9 o'clock. You could be doing so many other things. If it was in the fall, you would be watching Scandal maybe. I don't know. What's that other show, The Voice? But here you are on a call, listening wanting to get better, wanting to do better. So maybe that voice inside your head telling you to go for something greater, that you're meant for something more, is a whisper. I want it to be a booming voice. So that's my goal, that at least this sparks that passion inside you to reframe those challenges, to stop looking at them as things that are holding you back, and instead look at them as opportunities that will eventually propel you forward. So be straight with me. I am such a weird person. So like when I was a kid, at Christmas time, I would go around, search for the Christmas presents, unwrap them carefully so I could see what they were, and then rewrap them. And I didn't do it because I wanted to play with them. I did it because I wanted to know what to expect so I could plan my reaction, because I would feel terrible if I had my face shows every emotion. So I'd feel terrible if my parents were like, oh shoot, that was not a good present. So that's how I feel about this business. I want to know up front what to expect so that I can mentally prepare myself, so that I can put on that thick skin, and I can, even if I can't avoid a challenge, at least I can prepare myself of how I'm going to handle it. So the first thing I want you to do is put on your rhino skin. That just means have a thick skin. Don't take things so personally that you are disabled every time someone says something to you that hurts your feelings or disagrees with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat things here, because you are going to get rejected. You're going to feel the sting of negativity. You're going to feel self-doubt. And when you face those things, I don't want you to be surprised. I don't want you to feel like, oh gosh, I'm the only one that this ever happened to. The second thing is getting equipped for the ride. And I feel like I want to create some kind of subliminal music audio thing where it just repeats personal development, personal development, personal development, so that you guys understand how important personal development is. I know that personal development, to me, when I became a coach, I thought of it as that the weirdo section of the bookstore, the self-help. I was like, there is just no way that I'm going to walk over there and get any of those books. When the truth is, personal development is just a proactive choice to figure out where your weaknesses are and work on them. So this call, think of this as your crash course for you to survive the roller coaster. But if you want to thrive, if you want to enjoy it, if you want to have fun, if you want to continue to get better and better, which I know that you do, you're going to invest in personal development. And the third thing is building your confidence. So there's a really great book by John C. Maxwell. It's called Failing Forward. If you're afraid, was anybody the kid in school that you thought you knew the answer, but you wouldn't raise your hand because you don't want to be wrong just in case? Because that was me. Okay, good. So yeah, I just would rather not say anything than look dumb. What I've learned through my business is I fell on my face. The only way for me to learn, the only way for me to get better is just to suck at stuff. So my very first challenge group with Beachbody, there were 5 girls. Everybody stayed fat. Nobody lost any weight. It just was terrible. They stopped posting after 2 weeks, and it just was a complete failure. So when I first went through that, I was just feeling bad about myself as a coach, but I just continued, try again, and you continue to implement improvements as you go. You tweak it as you go, and you learn to get better and better. If you, let's just say you're an Emerald coach and you are terrified of doing a team call, here's the thing. You could do a team call with just your 2 coaches, and you could suck and take pride in the fact that only 2 people saw you suck so bad. So by the time you're hosting a call of 100 people, they think, oh my gosh, she's an amazing public speaker. I wish I had her natural talents and abilities. And meanwhile, it's something that you work towards. So my point is, check your ego out the door. Just learn that you're going to have to fail forward and get ready for the ride, because you're going to be on the highest high on some days and you're going to be on the lowest low on some days. And that's where I'm going to talk to you about building your confidence buckets so that you don't just disappear when you have a little bit of, devastation in your life. So all aboard the roller coaster. So I hope you guys aren't offended by me calling you freaks or weirdos or freakazoids, but everyone on this call is a complete freak, which is a good thing, I promise you. So a freak is someone who is obsessed with or unusually enthusiastic about a specified interest. And that is me to a T with Beachbody. I am so unusually obsessed with it. And I hope that you are. I hope that it's changing your life in so many wonderful ways. And the cool thing about being a freak is only 10% of the population dares to be a freak, dares to go out on a branch and do something different, do something new, do something out of the herd like normal. So the normal, the 90%, that means conforming to the standard or the common type. So being usual, being part of the herd, which doesn't sound very fun to me. And that sounds like my old life where I was stuck, where I would have these thoughts like, okay, if I could just hang in here for 30 or 40 years and get through this and retire, then I can do what I want to do. Instead, if you dare to be a freak and you dare to pursue this, you can do what you want to do now. You can live a life that you love now, and you don't have to be stuck or bound to a schedule or stressed out about finances. The hard thing about being a freak is the 90% don't like it when you try to leave the herd. They will fight you on everything. They will challenge every choice that you make. They will try to pull you back in by bringing you down, basically, and pounding you into, alignment with them. So they're going to call you crazy. They're going to call you nuts. They're going to say all kinds of mean things to you. So I want to talk about, welcome to the crazy show. I want to talk about how people are crabby. So here's like an interesting little story for you guys. There's a type of crab, and this crab, supposedly, I've never met one or seen one, is super, super smart and agile. So this type of crab, it can get out of any crab trap that they make, but these crabs are caught by the thousands every single day. So I was like, well, how does that happen? That doesn't even make any sense. But basically what a fisherman does is they have a wire cage, and there's a hole at the top of the wire cage. They put some bait in it, and then they just drop it into the water. And then a crab comes along and sees the bait and is like, oh, dinner time, goes in the cage, eats the bait. Second crab comes along, sees the first crab, ooh, dinner time, goes in the cage, eats more food. Then a third, and then a fourth, and they're feasting like it's Thanksgiving down there. After a while, they eat all the bait. There's no more bait. But yet, more crabs continue to come inside the trap. And eventually, all the bait's gone, crabs keep coming in, and maybe one crab gets this brilliant idea, like, there's literally nothing holding us in here. Let me try to, climb out. So that little sucker tries to climb out, and here's the crazy thing. The herd, the rest of the crabs, will pull him off the sides of the cage, will, like, rip him down. I'm like, why are you leaving, dude? If he keeps going, if he keeps trying to climb out, they will rip his claws off, which is like really traumatic. And if he still keeps trying to get out of the cage, they'll actually kill him. And while people are not going to rip your arms off, they're not going to kill you, hopefully, for everyone's safety, they do have very convincing techniques to, bring you back into the cage, to keep you locked in the cage. And they do so more through emotional tactics than trying to actually pull off your claws. So they can doubt you, they can make fun of you, they can guilt you, they can be sarcastic every time you're talking about Beachbody or your workouts. They can humiliate you. I have a very interesting thing that happened to me at the Easter dinner table with my family that was really embarrassing. I've had people tease me about Shakeology. I've had people tease me about that pyramid scheme. I've had people tell me that one week I made $700, and I was so excited. I was so proud of that amount. And they were like, oh, well, that's not going to last. You pretty much peaked on that. So I hope you have, a backup plan. I had people, especially when I quit my job and I moved to California, I had a lot of people freak out on me about how I was so crazy and stupid, and I was going to lose my house and all these other terrible things. So they're going to try to get you back in line. They're going to say things that are going to hurt your feelings. And that's okay. When you decide to walk away from the herd, just prepare yourself that these things are going to happen. And you might be thinking, well, these are people that love me. Why would they ever hurt me? Why would they ever say these things? Well, the first thing is you make them look bad. When you try to branch out and do something that is good for your future, or like that makes you feel good, that's enriching your life, it's like holding a giant mirror up. So they know that they should be doing it, but they're not doing it. I had one coworker, I was eating vegetables. I was eating just like a healthy meal, and she told me that I was eating too many vegetables and I needed to go see a doctor. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I have people make comments like that all the time, stupid things like that didn't even make sense. So you're making them look bad. They know that they should be doing it, so they're going to give you a hard time until you stop doing it. And, misery loves company. So how many people have had people try to give them cupcakes, pizza, candy, and say, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's just this one time. And you're trying to work on your goals and stay strong, and it's just frustrating. The second thing is they aren't as courageous as you. They're comfortable living the 90% life, the steady paycheck, the benefits. They think that you are the craziest person for trying to do something different. They think it's stupid because they're scared. They're afraid to do something different to get different results. They want to follow the status quo. They want to follow the way that things are supposed to be, quote unquote, which kind of sucks. It's like, mind your own business. But that takes me to number 3. They're trying to protect you. I mean, there are so many scams out there. There are so many ridiculous things out there that try to take your money, try to take your focus, your attention. So I really appreciate when people are skeptical of things. I think that it's smart to be skeptical, to do your due diligence, to do your research, to look up Beachbody and the Better Business Bureau. So I admire when they're trying to protect you. A lot of times as a spouse, like I get really excited about things, and then Jay has to reel me in sometimes because I'm blinded by the excitement. So I do appreciate when people are trying to protect you in that way. So, having patience with that is important. Number 4, they've seen every stupid thing you've done. They've seen everything that you tried and gave up. They've seen every flash in the pan thing that you did that lasted for a week or a month, and then you just lost interest in it. So to be fair to them, you've done some things in your past that you kind of have to build up some trust here. You've got to build up a track record. So I would say there's like a 6-month turnaround for you to really stay consistent, for them to see, okay, she's actually sticking with this, and it's not just like a fly-by-night thing. And then number 5, they love you. So I want you to envision your Beachbody journey as your goal or your definition of success is the peak of the mountain, and you're right now on the ground floor, and you're trying to reach that summit. So you're climbing. Every step that you take, every workout you do, every invite you send, you're getting closer and closer, higher and higher to that peak mountain, which is your goal. Your friends and family who are on the ground level see you climbing this mountain. And every step you take, everything that you do, you're getting further and further off the ground. So you're excited because you're getting closer to your goal. They're freaking out because they see you climbing higher and higher, what they perceive to be a failed, journey that you're eventually going to come crashing down. And the further you get into it, the further you're going to fall. So they're legitimately worried about you. They're scared for you. And I also really appreciate that. And, I have to preach to you guys to have patience with that and to know that they're doing it out of love. They don't want to see you crashing down. Nobody wants to see their friends and family, crash and burn at something. But here's the tough thing. I can tell you all these things about why they do what they do, but you're sitting there with hurt feelings. You're sitting there with frustrations. And it's really easy to get caught off guard with some of the people that you thought would be your biggest supporters are now the biggest people telling you not to do it. So you have to separate passion and dreams and you and rejection. So if you were a waiter and you went to a table and you asked them if they wanted dessert or coffee and they said no, you wouldn't take it seriously. If you were a software salesperson and you made a sales call and they said no, you wouldn't take it personally. You would just say, okay, that's the way business is. Some people say yes, some people say no. It's not for everybody. Not everybody wants coffee. But when it's your passion, when it's your dreams, when it's your business on the line and your friends and your family reject it, it feels like they're rejecting you. It feels very personal. And you have to understand that it's not you, it's not for them, or it's not the right time for them. And they're not saying no to you. They're just saying no to the workouts. They're saying no to Shakeology. They're saying no to the business. And that is okay. So I forget what I was going to say. Oh, anyway, so it can still suck. Even if you mentally compartmentalize it, it can still hurt and it can derail you unless you're prepared for it, unless you've built up those confidence buckets, knowing I've had people that literally have joined me 2 years later. I've had people that have known me since before I was a coach, And when we moved to Florida, they finally signed up. So I was like almost 4 years into my coaching journey, and they were like, oh, I think I might want to do that now. So if you're in it for the long haul, which I know that you are, know that people are eventually going to see the light if this is an opportunity for them. So let's finally talk about those confidence buckets, setting up things to build your confidence and preparing yourself for the dips. So the things that can happen that can derail you: fitness backslide. Maybe you gain all the weight back. Maybe you gain some weight back. Maybe you start doubting yourself. Maybe you have returns or coaches cancel. Every time I see a coach cancel, it breaks my heart, but I no longer take it personally. Rejection, distractions. And honestly, even success can be a backslide if you're successful and you start to get lazy. If you start to feel like, if you ever feel like I've got this, you don't got this, trust me. Like every level that you reach in the business, you're set up to learn new things. And if you ever feel like I've got this, then you're not in the space of learning. You're not in the space of being humble. So you have to be aware of that. You also have to be aware of paralysis analysis, or analysis paralysis, where you're so afraid to make mistakes that you end up doing nothing. That's probably the worst thing you can do. So to fill your confidence buckets, not to harp on it, but personal development is such a key component in that. On my team, I can tell the people that are doing personal development and the people that aren't. Personal development equips you. It's like filling your toolbox with how to handle situations, with how to speak to people, with how to build relationships, with how to run a business. So personal development is an absolute must. Visualizing your why is really important. Getting in the space of, in that vibration of, things are coming to you, and connecting the work, connecting the time that you're putting into this with the outcome that you're going to get out of it. So in the beginning of this business, you do a lot of effort for no reward. And then eventually you reach a tipping point where you do a little bit of work, not too much work. I work like 4 days a week, really, for a lot of reward. So to get to that tipping point, you have to have in your mind that end goal. Plugging in. I know that you guys are awesome at this because you're here right now. Getting on team calls, going to events, just like Ashley was talking about the Shine event, getting to Summit, getting to Super Saturdays, tuning into the National Wake Up Call. Maybe on this call, you're here for 45 minutes and you only get one nugget out of it. Trust me, anytime you get one nugget, that nugget lasts you the rest of your coach career. So it's so important to tune in. Maybe you don't exactly connect with the speaker on the National Wake Up Call, but the way that they explain things helps you explain it to your team. Or maybe the way that they explain things to customers, it helps you verbalize it to your customers. Keeping it simple. It's really easy to overcomplicate this business and make this crazy to-do list of things that you need to do. But really, it comes down to the basics. They made the 3 vital behaviors for a reason. So not to harp on it, but personal development, being proof the products work, and then inviting people. So sharing what you're doing. If you're not talking about it and you're not sharing, it's like being open for business, but covering your storefront. So unless you're inviting people, don't know what you're doing, they don't know that they're able to join you. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about on here, which we're going to continue in a little bit, is success partners. So having someone that you're accountable to in the business, maybe they're at a similar place in the business, they have similar goals, that you can brainstorm with, send each other daily updates with your 3 vital behaviors, do maybe a weekly call where you just kind of check in. That was so helpful for me in building relationships and like keeping me in the game, really. Okay, reframing everything. Talking about failure. Failure equals learning experience. Failure equals you tweaking things and getting better. And when you start as a new coach, anything that you do, like hosting a call, sending an invite, getting on the phone with somebody, a prospect maybe, you get that fear. Well, the same butterflies that you get from fear are the same butterflies you get when you're excited. So when you're on an actual roller coaster, you get those butterflies and the tinglies in your hands and your feet. And that's the same exact feeling of being excited. So anytime you get scared of something, I want you to think you're so super psyched up for it that your body is freaking out. So instead of thinking of it as something scary, it's something incredible that you're about to experience. The important thing here with failure is giving yourself permission to fail, giving yourself that grace to get a little bit messy and to muck things up and to mess things up. And to illustrate how failure can actually propel you forward, we're going to do a little math. So if you guys are familiar with the pendulum, the further you pull it back in one direction, the further it can swing in the other direction. So if you swing a little bit far, if you make a little bit of invites, you can only have a little bit of success, a few people saying yes. But if you're willing to pull it way back and have a lot of people that you invite, have a lot of people tell you no, then you can have a lot of people tell you yes. So if you were to invite 2 people every day this month, which you should be doing, 2 people every day, you're going to have 60 invites. And out of that, my success ratios when I started was about 10%. Out of 10%, if you have 10% of people that want to join your challenge group, you'll have 6 people say yes, but you'll have to deal with the sting of rejection from 54 people. Those are 54 potential future customers, by the way. So 54 is a lot of times to hear no and to bounce back from. But if you're willing to fail at a greater level and you invite 5 people per day, so you have 150 people that you invite, and let's just say you kind of stink and your success rate was only 5%, that's 7 people saying yes. So you're already ahead. You're already at Success Club 14 here. And even though you've had to deal with 143 people saying no, every time you invite, you're getting better and better and better. 143 people is a lot of practice to continue to get better and better. If you had a better success rate, because every time you're doing it, you're getting better and better, and 10% of people said yes, then you have 15 people that said yes. So even though you're over 100 no's, you are at Success Club 30. You have invited and changed 30 people's lives. That is incredible. It's not about the Success Club points. It's not about the commissions. It's about you being passionate about something, about you being willing to put yourself on a branch for the greater good. I would feel so sad if Lindsay did this business and never invited me, if everybody around me was getting fit and healthy and they just like left me in the dust. So I want you to think about the people that you don't want to leave in the dust. You know, maybe it's not the right time. Maybe they have to save up money. Maybe they've got to move things around and make things work. But don't be that person that leaves invites on the table and leaves lives unchanged. Let them make that decision. It's not up to you whether they want to do it or not. So don't pre-qualify people. Don't say, oh, so-and-so would never want to do it. I will tell you, the people that I thought never would do it are the people that signed up as coaches, and the people I thought for sure would do it still aren't coaches and still haven't stuck with it. So you just never know. You can't make that decision for them. So my point with this little math, explanation is to swing for the fences, to be willing to swing big so that you can create that big momentum. Building your support team. So it's really important to have a support team around you, people that encourage you, people that know what your goals and your dreams are so they can remind you of them, so they can, be that beacon of light when maybe you're at one of your lowest lows or you're at a frustrating day. So you want to make sure that you have open line of communication with your spouse and your family. They might not understand what you're doing. They might not agree with what you're doing. But if you can at least show them the end game, I feel like this is a way for our family to get out of debt. I feel like this is a way for me to contribute to our financial future so that you can cut back on hours at work. Whatever that looks like for you and your family or your situation. If you're single, that you're talking to your significant other or your family, your mom, sibling, whatever, and they're not all going to be on board. They're not all going to understand. So I put this little script for you guys, just asking for their support, even if they don't quite get it. So I know you might not understand and trust this yet. Can you give me 6 months of your full support while I give it my all? And if they can give you 6 months, you can show them how passionate you are about it. They can see the difference within you. I had so many people comment on how different I had become, over the course of my coach career, the more I got into personal development. I think if they see that, and some of you guys might know Melanie Mitro. She's actually a coach in my downline. When she first signed up, her husband, Matt, was so not on board at all. At all. Same with Nikki Mitten. Chris was just not happy with the business. They thought it was a scam. But after asking for 6 months of support, they saw the change. They saw the passion. They saw how the potential of the business and getting them involved by listening to the National Wake Up Call, listening to Carl was such an incredible eye-opening experience for them. So I hope the same for your families. I hope that they're supportive. Number 2, success partner. We kind of already talked about that, having someone that's kind of your partner in crime in the business. Number 3, having supportive friends. So I did have a lot of people tease me, but I also had people that were really supportive of me, even though they didn't understand what it was, even though they didn't want to join me in it. Just having those people that have your back. So even if things aren't going your way, or even if things are amazing, it's nice to have a cheering section for you to celebrate those successes. Number 4, having a mentor. This is someone that could be you work closely with, like your sponsor coach, or someone that is mentoring you from afar. It's someone who's experienced and like a trusted advisor. So for me, that would be my sponsor coach, but then also Marie Forleo. I'm obsessed with Oprah as well, Tony Robbins, all people that I watch their videos and listen to and take what I learned from them and implement it in my business. So a quick note about mentoring. I feel like as a leader, and you guys will be in this position one day as well, you're gonna have coaches who lean on you a little bit too much, that use you as a crutch. So Ashley may or may not have had this experience yet, but I'm going to throw this out there so you guys can understand the mentor-mentee relationship. So I read a book called Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg, and I'm just gonna read you this little excerpt and tell you my thoughts on it, but these are her words. So I never used the word mentor, but I invested a lot of time in her development. So I was surprised one day when she stated flatly that she never had a mentor or anyone really looking out for her. I asked what a mentor meant to her. She explained that it would be someone she spoke to for at least an hour every week. I smiled thinking, that's not a mentor, that's a therapist. I hope what you guys take away from that is a mentor isn't someone that you completely lean on and you dump all your problems. A mentor is someone that you go to with a proactive list, that you're a problem solver. Yes, you might have frustrating moments. You might have things you need them to build your confidence up or to show you the big picture or to give you hope. But when I go to my mentor, I have a list of objectives I want to accomplish, things that I know that she's done that I want to emulate, and I want her advice on how to implement those things. I am respectful of our time together. I don't just get on the phone and say, oh, I don't know, last week was pretty good, I guess. This is where I really encourage you guys not to shy away from the business activity tracker. If you're tracking your business, not only do you have a better handle on what's going right and what's going wrong, but your mentor can look at that in a snapshot and see, okay, I see you're doing a lot of inviting, but you're not having a lot of success. So we need to look at your conversations. You can also look at, I hear this all the time, where people say, it's all about perception. So people say, oh, I'm doing all this inviting, but nobody wants to join or nobody has money. When in actuality, when they're tracking it, they're only inviting like 4 people. And 4 people is not enough to give you a good sampling of if what you're doing is working or not. So you need to ask at least 10 people to get 1 yes. So because they're not tracking it, they're perceiving it like, quote unquote, everybody is saying no, when really that's not the scenario. So think about this. Michael Phelps would never get in the pool without a clock. So your business activity tracker, whatever tracker you want to use, whether it's writing in your planner, is your clock and your way to gauge your progress. My last note about mentoring. And then the last thing is to plug into the team. So especially when you guys go to Summit, building those relationships, such an important element of Beachbody. And I think that's why it's so successful. The community is so amazing. So whether someone's on your team or not, if you're at a Super Saturday, if you're in line at Summit, that you're making friends, you're networking and talking to the people around you in line, because you don't want to miss out on those opportunities. So for example, with Ashley, if she would have never come to say hi and she would have messaged me on Facebook, asked me to do a team call, she'd probably go to the bottom of the list because I didn't know her. But because I know her and we built that relationship, then I was happy to do it. So you want to, even if you're so nervous to go say hi to someone, just get out of your comfort zone, do it anyway. It'll be over quick, I promise, and they'll be super nice. So always make friends. Okay, so why is the ride worth it? Why is it worth going through all this rejection, all these feelings, all these emotions? For me, the motivator was always freedom. Freedom of not having a boss, of making my own hours, working when I want, to have that flexibility, to have the choice of doing what I want when I want, to not have financial burdens hanging over my head, stressing me out. I know that out of all the issues that people have in their life, financial burdens are nearing the top of the list of reasons to be stressed out or depressed or feel hopeless. And we can share a Beachbody with them. And I'm so glad that you guys are here, because it's been such a blessing and such a gift to have that financial freedom, to pay off my mortgage, to have debt free. So I want that for everybody. And like money, I always think about like, where does money come from? Money comes from people. And the more people you help, the more money will be blessed you'll be blessed with in your life. And that will enable you to help more people. So if you're currently working a full-time job, every person that you help gets you one step closer to helping more people, which is a really cool concept to think about. So when you're a full-time coach, you'll be able to dedicate more time to helping more people. The personal growth that you go through as a coach, just becoming a better wife, better friend, better mother, better daughter. The friendships that you make, I can't even say enough about that. The fun that we have, it's just such, when you have something that you love to do and it has such an incredible purpose behind it, and we make such a huge impact on the world around us, how could you not seize this opportunity? So yes, you're going to come up, to a lot of obstacles. A lot of things are going to hopefully not derail you, but they might be stumbling blocks that you have to work through and overcome. But it's so fun that in the end result, when you look back in 5 years, you're going to be like, I am so glad I stuck with this. So take action. I want you guys to embrace struggles, anything that you're struggling with right now in the business. Instead of thinking of it and having it heavy on your heart, I want you to think of it as you're learning something from this experience, and it's preparing you for something greater. So if you're struggling with how to recruit coaches right now, that's preparing you to become better at it. So when you have a team of 1,000, you can pass that information on to your team and, bless them with the gift of knowledge and experience. So look for the lesson, and then every stumbling block you come across, it's really important to reflect on that and implement improvements. I'm going to share a link for you guys for the video, How to Start a Movement. Every time I watch it, I get goosebumps because it's just so, I don't know, like energizing and charging for me, just to see like how you build momentum in your business and how we do that through, share consistency and like sharing the passion that we have. And then I want you to build your support team. It's really important to me that you guys have those success buckets, that you have people around you. I know that there are at least 30 people on this call who, are part of that success team for you. So utilizing that. And here's the thing, guys, don't be afraid to say hi to each other. Whether you never met in your life or you only see each other on the team page, the more relationships you can build, the more enhanced and enriched your coaching relationships and experience is going to be. So with that being said, the potential you guys have in front of you is just ridiculously incredible. But it means nothing if you do nothing. So take what you learn, as you're going, and implement. And the last thing I'm going to say is personal development. So after this call, I hope you guys discuss, what personal development you're doing, what personal development you've enjoyed, and, sharing that with each other is really cool because there are so many books out there. So how do I get this off of? Oh, wait, there we go. I don't know why I'm like technologically struggling here today, but there's just so many fun things to read. I could go on and on about it. So does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Katie, so much. That was awesome. So I had them send me a couple private questions, and like usual, my team's very quiet and shy sometimes when it comes to questions. So one person that asked me a question doesn't really relate to any of the slides that you did, so I hope you don't mind. And I think it's something that a lot of coaches that have been in the business for a while often hear. If you could do something right from the beginning of your career, what would it be? I have a feeling it's what you're going to say based off of what you said earlier, but I would love to hear your thoughts.
Personal development.
That's what I figured.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. But if I was going to give you something actionable besides personal development, what I always tell my team is, first of all, usually the things that you struggle with the most are the things that set you apart the most. So if you're skinny fat, that sets you apart in your brand. If that's something you struggle with, if you're 200 pounds overweight, that's what sets you apart with your struggle. So getting comfy with whatever was embarrassing to you. I'm a college dropout, which was so embarrassing for me because I graduated high school early. So I'm like, how the hell did I become a college dropout? But now I'm proud of that because, I just have gone through so much, and those struggles are what enable me to speak to my ideal client, and give the best advice. So get cozy with that. And then the other thing I would say is, right now, if you're building your business solely through social media, that's wonderful. But ASAP, as in like literally leave this call and do this, have a method for building your business that's Googleable. And what I mean by that is, can somebody Google a question and you come up in some capacity, whether it's a YouTube video explaining something, whether it's a blog post explaining something, whatever that looks like for you. I think that you're missing the mark if you don't have something like Googleable content, if that makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I'll do for the last question is, and this comes from my success partner who could make it on the call. So we all hear the coaches that say like, they want this, they want to be successful, they want to make it happen, but then they don't do the actions to make it happen, but they still want you to mentor them. Like, how do you help them? Like, is there a point when you're like, I can't do anything to help you? Like, what do you do in that circumstance?
So, I mean, there's a lot of that, because I think part of the issue and part of the reason why I made a call on this topic is we make the business seem so fun, which it certainly is. Like, I enjoy this more than I could enjoy anything. But then when it comes to actually putting in the work, it's like, oh, wait, I thought this was supposed to be just like a fun thing. So there's a disconnect there. So if I'm mentoring someone and I see that they're not progressing or not holding up their end of the bargain, as in taking action on what we talked about, you have to set up a strategy to have like give and take. So I'm not going to get on a call with you again until you do what we talked about. And not to sound harsh, but when I'm doing a mentor call, there are certain things that they need to do to earn the call. So certain requirements for getting on our team Zoom call on Tuesdays, they have to get on that call, because if you're not willing to show up and brainstorm and problem solve with the other members of the team, then I'm going to reserve my time for those who are willing, to connect and get back to the team. So that's number one. Number two, some type of requirement. So depending on where they are in the business, it's either making a business activity tracker. If it's someone that's a little bit more advanced, it's you have to earn Success Club or, have Success Club points on the board to schedule a call. Because for those of you guys, like if you're newer, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I would never schedule time, based on merit with my coaches. I want to give all my time to all of them. That's actually not serving them in the best way. And in the beginning, you can certainly do that. But as your team grows, you have to strategize how to maximize your impact with your coaches without driving yourself crazy. Because I wouldn't be married if I was spending all the time in the world with all the people that wanted my time. So I need something for them to show that they're serious. So business activity tracker, getting Success Club on the board. And then let's say that you had a mentor call with them. And so what I'll say is, okay, your area of struggle, your area of, opportunity is X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to need you to make, sometimes we talk about here are the blog post ideas that you should make. And I think this will help you start to build your following, or, do this together. Once they do that, then they can schedule a call with me again. So it's kind of putting the ball in their court. Once X, Y, and Z is done, then schedule the call. And if you do it that way and not just where it's like, oh yeah, and we'll talk again next Wednesday, then if they drop the ball, then they're missing out on your mentorship. But if they pick things up and they do it, then it's awesome. And, you help get them on and help them more. So I hope that helps.
No, that was great. And like never thought of that before, because I do like mentor phone calls and I'm like, all right, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. So no, thank you. That really answered the good question. Well, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for doing this call. I know the entire team thanks you. They're muted, so they can't thank you, but we really, really appreciate it. And I just thank you again.
Well, thank you for having me. I hope it helped. And I hope that you guys, my heart's mission is to help other people, entrepreneurs, build a business. And I guess it breaks my heart anytime I see someone get frustrated by this experience and not push through to the end, because my reality is living in $1 million house, waking up every day with dogs that I love. And I don't say $1 million house to be like, whoa, whatever. It's just, that was my mission, to have a beautiful home, a beautiful space that I can nest, because I'm also an introvert. Other introverts, I've been feeling this is a call of introverts. So you guys know how important your personal space is. So that was a big goal for me. And anytime I see people get frustrated by the business, I'm like, just keep going. Please, 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 please just keep going. So my wishes for you guys is to have a blessed business, and, to just remember that obstacles are learning experiences and you'll get through it. And I really hope that at Summit you come say hi. I hope that next year you're telling me how you blew it away this year, and hopefully this call was some type of turning point for you, or whatever was your turning point. So anyway, I want you guys to experience great things. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'll see you guys soon.
Have a good night. Oh, that was amazing. I'm like talking to like Erica and Kelsey. I'm like, she can be my BFF. She said we have a relationship. You all heard that. We have a relationship. We are BFFs. So you guys are my witnesses. I don't know about you guys, but she is probably like my one coach that I'm always looking up to. And if you guys feel free to take yourselves off mute, if you need to jump off the call, I completely understand. We did go later than usual. But hopefully this helped one of you. If it helped one of the 53 people that were on the call, then it was completely worth it. I kid you not, when I heard her talk last year, that was literally my tipping point. I remember I met her and I cried and I messaged her and I said, you inspired me. My husband gave me the go and I'm quitting my job when I got home. Like, he was the one that pushed me there. And I'm not saying you have to go quit your job. Please don't do that unless you like are capable of that at that moment. But I'm just saying, re-listen to this call. Listen to what she said and just soak up all that knowledge. She knows what she's doing, and it was an awesome call. At least I think it was an awesome call. I hope you guys agree. Real quick before I open it for discussion, let's do recognition, because this was an awesome week for our team. For those that aren't on our team that are listening, feel free to stay on and just hang out with us. So our top 5 PV earners were number 1, Brittany Wood with 315 PV, Katrina with 285 PV, Stephanie Parks with 270, Alicia Luganville with 255, and Katie Chappelle with 248. Stephanie, you've got to be one proud mama coach, because 2 of those coaches are yours. For Success Club, we have I have 10, Alicia 12. Alicia Luganville has 8. Stephanie Smith has 8. My husband has 6. Victoria Gray has 6. And Brittany Wood has 5. And so many more of you are on the board. We had 3 rank advancements today. Huge congratulations to Cara for hitting Ruby. She won't be there long. I predict Diamond in her future very soon. So congratulations. You wear that red as long as you want to. Congratulations to Danielle Bardsley and Katie Chappelle, who hit Emerald today. So I was not expecting any rank advancements, and then I woke up to 3, and I was, yes, today's going to be an awesome day. So congratulations to those that are on the board. I want to open it to you guys. If you guys have any questions, any comments, anything you have after the call, let's talk about it. I'm willing to stay on as long as you guys want to chat. And like usual, silence. You guys are predictable. I know I have my phone callers on mute, and I would take my phone callers off mute, but it gets really staticky. So just message me on Facebook if you want me to take you off mute. That way you guys can talk. Does anybody have any comments, any takeaways, anything they want to share?
Oh my gosh, I love her.
Who's talking?
It's Clara. I had to turn my video off.
Isn't she like so down to earth?
Well, she shouldn't have invited us. Now our entire mob is going to go and like, hi, Katie. How are you, Katie?
I'm definitely introducing myself if I see the opportunity in Nashville.
I saw her in Cancun, and I'm like, all right, you're right next to me, but you've got Lindsay Matway standing next to you. I'm good. I'll talk to you later. I'm good. Anybody? Any takeaways? Anything you liked? Nothing? Nada? Zilch?
I thought it was awesome.
I don't know who's talking because I have 2 screens, so I apologize.
Danielle.
Danielle,
Bye,
do you
yeah.
have like any major takeaways from the call or anything?
I mean, kind of the whole thing. Like, I think I personally get so offended when people are like, no, like it's not the right time, or like I was talking to one girl for like weeks, and then she went and bought like she's like, oh, it's too expensive, and then she spent like $200 on It Works, and I'm like, no.
And I think what she said is important is they're not saying no to us. They're just saying no
Right.
to the opportunity. And like I've talked about so many times, I don't know if Lindsay Sessions is still on the call. She told me no like 5 or 6 times. I told Lisa, my coach, no 5 times. And here I am. Like, no, I'm the living proof that no's don't mean no. They just mean maybe some other time I'll be back later on. So I think that was like important to hear, because even now, like I've been in this for 2.5 years and I'm like, they told me no. Like, they'd be an amazing coach. Why are they telling me no? I'm like, that's fine. Just reject me. But they're not. They're going to come back around eventually.
I think one thing that really hit home for me is not to pre-qualify anyone, because I know I kind of do that, and I like, oh, I don't want to reach out to them because I don't think they would be interested, but you kind of have to drop that doubt that you might have to, because you could change your life. So I need to work on that.
I agree. No, and I'm completely there with you. I mean, I was talking to my corporate guy today, and he's like, what's your biggest thing in this business? And I was like, I just doubt myself. I've been here for 2.5 years, and I still doubt myself. And it's something that we're always going to struggle with. And I'm glad that she kind of touched base on that. Anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? It can literally be about anything, guys.
I'll talk.
Thanks, Joe.
No, I think just like the pendulum swing thing she said with talking, because I am the worst at inviting, and I think I comment on every video, post, anything you put up that I cannot invite to the life of me. And the other day, I literally created an event invite for a challenge group and invited like 100 people. And now each day I go down my list of 100 and like PM all of them, just like, hey, what's up? I add a little personal touch and then invite, but I've definitely gotten, even if I get not now, to me that's better than just sitting here doing nothing, because no one's going to join me if I don't actually invite them. So I definitely have like finally been okay with setting myself up for the rejection and whatnot.
And for me, so Jill's not my personally sponsored coach, but obviously I've been here since you joined, and I know that's something that you struggle with, like inviting. That's been your thing, so I know that's a huge step for you, and that's super important. I'm proud of you that you're doing it, and it's hard in the beginning. It is. It's hard to be like, do you want to join my team? It's like, do you want to come play? It's like when you're playing, like in school, when you're playing kickball and you had to pick teams and you're like the last person standing. That's kind of what it feels like sometimes. But it's so important to put yourself out there. And I like her math that she gave us. Like, you invite 2 times a week, you're going to take just as long to grow your business. Whereas if you just put yourself out there and you say, okay, I'm going to do this. Why the heck not? Who knows what will happen, you know?
Yeah.
So no, I'm super proud that you're doing that now, Jill, and I know that was a big step for you.
It's scary.
It is. It's definitely scary. And the first couple times, the no's hurt the worst, but when you get that yes, it's like the best feeling in the world. You're like, yeah, like they said yes to me. Like, it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Lindsay's still listening, but I had messaged her the other day because someone I worked with like years ago was like, hey, what's that shake thing you're drinking? I want something for the morning. And I was like, oh, like finally. So you know you're reaching people. Like, keep posting.
Yes. See, exactly. Anybody else have anything else?
I think it was good. Can anybody hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Danielle. You're good.
I think it was good to say about like the family and friends kind of rejecting you. I feel like the first couple months of this journey for me, like I'm quite busy, and I'm a Virgo, so if I can't learn everything before I start doing it, then I don't want to kind of go all the way into it. But I just kind of, pushed my husband. It was like, no, I need this time. I need to do this for me. I can't even like move comfortably. And, he gave me a couple of pushbacks and we had a couple months, but now he's getting to the point where I was like, when I came back from Ireland, I was like, I'm either going to do it or I'm not. And he was like, just do it. You're so much better. You're so much better now. Just do it. And for the longest time, it infuriated me. It's like, even my sisters, they're like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't have time. And then the other day she posted on her Facebook, oh, I'm going on a Facebook break because I'm going to binge watch Orange is the New Black. And I'm like, okay, hold on, what? Like, so it's hard not to have the support of like my sisters because they're such a huge part in my life. But I think having Sean's support finally is kind of putting me out there and being like, okay, I'm just going to take the time and do it.
Spouse support is huge. And I know not everybody has it. Again, I was talking to my corporate person today and I said, my husband supports me fully. In the beginning, he was very unsure. He was just like, I'm not sure about this. And I'm like, just give it some time. And I remember even telling Lisa, like when I hit Emerald, she's like, you have to pay the club fees. I'm like, Mike, no. And we weren't married yet. So my fiance won't go for this. Like, he's going to be like, no, you're done. And now he's like, can I quit my job today? Like, can you retire me today? Like, he's 100% on board. And I think it's just getting to that point and showing your family, like, I'm in, I'm going to do this. And I hope you'll support me. I mean, I've been doing this for 2.5 years. I don't have any family coaches underneath me. I think my one cousin, I think she quit already. Like, she didn't even try. My parents never joined me, like nothing, but that's okay. But they see that I'm making changes and they may not support me in like with joining the team, but now they support me because they see that I'm all in and I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're in, Danielle. I'm very glad.
Me too.
Hold on, Stephanie. Are you near a fan?
No, I'm sitting in the bathroom because my family's out in the rest of the room.
Okay, I'm going to mute Danielle real quick, and then I'm going to mute Emily. Okay, go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay, so I liked what she was talking about, like the crabs and people doubting you, because when I started, I literally had like 2 close coworkers that said, I give you 6 months and you'll be done. So when I made it to a year, I was pretty much kind of like, suck it. Could have gotten me out of my comfort zone, and I just recently gave my notice at my job that I've been at for 8 years. And some of my coworkers, I think, doubt that decision and want to know, why don't I just stay where I'm at? Because I'm comfortable. But I guess Beachbody has pushed me to get out of my comfort zone and push myself in other ways. So that part of her call really spoke to me. It made me realize that I'm doing the right thing. So that's it.
You're here for a reason.
Yep.
I completely agree. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, you guys know after the recording, I will stay on and check.
Wait. We need to pause.
Okay, pausing.
Stephanie, are you leaving your job for Beachbody?
Who's talking?
Cara.
Sorry. I'm like getting ready, so I have no camera.
No, I'm not leaving for Beachbody, but I am going to be working less, and I don't think I would be comfortable with if it was.
Hold on. I don't understand what's going on. Everybody is muted. All right, Stephanie, try again.
Okay, I'm not leaving for Beachbody. I took another position, but I'll be working less. So I think without Beachbody, I wouldn't have made that choice, if that answers your question. I'm just moving on into the world.
I just wanted to make sure that well, congratulations is where I was going with that. I was like, Ashley, is this true? Oh my God, why are we not making a bigger deal out of this? But that's still amazing, so congratulations.
When the call first started, I'm actually in Florida with my family on a vacation, but my kids were like listening, and my stepson is 16. He goes, "Are you gonna quit and do that full time?" And I'm like, "Not yet."
Oh.
That's awesome.
But thank you.
Okay, no problem. Sorry to stop.
Oh, you're fine. All right, guys. We do have our call next Thursday, and I know we were gonna I said we were gonna do it bi-weekly, but I just keep lining up guest speakers, so we're just gonna keep going with it. So next Thursday, and anybody on team Anne's team, anybody on Lisa's team, you guys are more than welcome to join our team calls. So next Friday we have a 5-star elite coach joining us. I don't know what she's talking about, but she knows what she's doing, so it's gonna be really good. And then July 2nd, I know it's supposed to be our off week, and we're going to change the time of the call. I do apologize, but I have the number 17 ranked coach in the entire organization doing a team call for us. So again, when the number 17 ranked coach in the organization says they'll do a call for us, we got to show up. It's going to be at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. She joined the business literally last year, and she is already a 10-star diamond coach, currently ranked number 17 in 1 year. I see your faces. You're like, wait, how does that work? Trust me, I don't know how that works. I want to learn her secrets. So she's going to do a team call for us, 8:30 on the 2nd. Again, I need you guys to be there. I love when Katie was like, oh, it's awesome because you guys are all on this call. And I'm like, if only they knew that you were on the call to hear you. I can barely get 15 every single week. So hopefully this is a turning point, and this means more of you will join us every single week. So with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing Thursday evening. I will stay on the call for anybody that wants to chat, and I will post this recording in all 3 of the Facebook groups across the board for all the teams. So you guys have a great evening, and thank you so much.